What's this?
Hello, welcome back to the Phreak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you all for joining me as I continue with my Let's Play of Tyranny. Let's continue. We are in the Scarlet Chorus's camp. We kind of wandered around. We did a lot of looting, I guess, as much as we could. And there's a few folks to talk to. Salvaros and Bitter Quip. I'm going to probably skip Death Knell and some of these others and just head right over and try to get the mission and get out of the camp. When we return to the camp, which I assume we will do, we can always talk to them at that point. That's my thought process anyway. Okay, with that all being said and done, let's begin. Where are my manners? I forgot to cast my incantation of crying like a coddled North girl over a few dead soldiers. The blood chanter pounds his staff to the ground, his sunburnt face twisting into a harsh scowl. I will not be lectured for a failure to show the widow's widow's weakness. Now, where is that? His vision snaps to you. Fatebinder. Alright, so, I don't like Bitter Quip. If this is some sort of argument and I can get him in trouble or side with the other dude, whoever the other dude is, I'm going to do so. I don't like this guy. He's the devil, in my opinion. I don't know if he's the devil, but he's a bad guy. I don't like him. Lord Binder, the disfavored soldier waves you closer. We've been waiting for you. One of Nerat's dogs went wild. At least he's done the right thing to present himself here for a proper trial. I'd like to yank his teeth out, and I'd like it to be with your blessing, so I could sure use your judgment on this matter. Ah, we meet again, good Binder. The familiar blood chanter grins ear to ear. Perfect timing. I was just thinking about our teamwork at Echo Coal Crossing. The disfavored have accused me of multiple murders. I am not guilty of these charges and have nothing to hide. He grins from ear to ear. The truth can only exonerate me, so I will happily submit to your judgment. And who represents the aggrieved party? I do. The warrior steps forward, saluting with a resounding clatter. Salvaros of the Disfavored, am claimant and witness on behalf of my fallen shield brethren, Devona and Sevius the Swift. Murder, that's a serious charge. Tell me everything. 3 weeks ago, we were in the eastern end of the valley. We were on assignment to keep Vendrian Guard runners from leaving and reinforcements from coming in. Bitter Quip and some Scarlet Furies came with us. His voice falls flat for an awkward pause. Came with us for support. Well, our trail puts us between two Vendrian Guard patrols. Thinking they have us outnumbered, they draw bronze. We close ranks and fight together. It's a rather rousing melee, and the Oathbreakers give as good as they get. But among the dead, a dozen conscripts and 2 disfavored. You dance around the important details, Chanter. The soldier jabs a finger at Bitter Quip. Right as the enemy spots us, you start working your mystic symbols. I saw panic in their eyes when we first stumbled upon each other in that clearing. But once his magic started flying, the only thing I saw in their eyes was bloodlust. So the Vendrian Guard slew them? Then how is this the choirman to blame? How is this choirman to blame? Oh. Or, what sort of magic did you use? Yeah, what sort of magic? I don't talk the craft outside of the guild, but I can't defend myself with silence. The blood chanter clears his throat, measuring his words carefully. I invoked a spell of frenzy and directed the chant at the enemy. They can move faster than our party, and letting them escape would undermine the mission, so I fueled them with rage to get them to stand and fight. There, he just came right out and admitted it. The Oathbreakers usually can't fight their way out of a burlap sack, but he grants them the gift of a stink badger's courage? The warrior rests his head in his hand. Madness, pure and simple. The Furies were dumbfounded and folded, and that's when Devona and Sevius the Swift dove into the fray. Devona caught a javelin in the eye, just stupidly bad luck. As for Sevius, after the battle he had been run through 19 times. Graven Ash couldn't save him. Salvaros has his facts in order. I would concur with his assessment. Alright, Salvaros, do you have anything to add? What is there to add? He agrees with me on what happened. I can see no reason to belabor the point. Just find him guilty already. Alright, Blood Chanter, is that all you have to say in your defense? What more need I say, for I have done no wrong. Are you daft, or was your mother too busy mounting the tears to teach you right from wrong? You are not enlightened, so I can forgive your ignorance. If you were illuminated in the ways of the arcane, you would know that Kairos' law does not hold the mage culpable for that which cannot be controlled. What sort of chorus delusion is this? Ooh, we have 20 lore. Bitter Quip is citing Magician's Folly, and if in a battle for Kairos' glory, a mage inadvertently harms someone protected by Kairos' peace, the mage is not legally at fault. A mage cannot be held to task for the chaos of battle. Not sure, maybe something the voices of Nerat made up. We'll go with the lore. Hopefully this doesn't force me to side with Bitter Quip. We'll see. You've gained favor with Tunin. You gain 24 lore experience. That's not bad. The Fatebinder actually knows his law. As I said, I have no doubts that I'm in the right. You must understand, the chanter grins broadly. My heart is heavy with regards to this tragedy, but my conscience is clean. That's insane! This wasn't a gout of fire that went awry. He used magic to enrage the enemy into feats of strength. How is that not a crime? The law is meant to protect against honest mistakes. It seems like there was nothing accidental in this process. Meant? The law isn't meant to do anything beyond what it says. I won't stand here while Tunin's spoiled brat lectures me on the real purpose of law. Oh, come now. Just because the Fatebinder isn't lapping at your wicked reasoning doesn't mean you need to be rude about it. I'm ready to pass judgment. The case is a simple one, is it not? So, do you think he's guilty? Wrong question. It's not what the Fatebinder feels, it's what the law says. He clears his throat with a smug smile. So then, what does the law say? Kairos' law shields Bitter Quip from negligence in battle. The matter is tragic, but not criminal. Well, it is obvious that you acted with malice, knowing the law would shield you. You are innocent of murdering a servant of Kairos, but guilty of giving succor to the enemy. That's right, he gave him a succor. I always want to say that it's succor, but I swear I've heard it pronounced succor, so I don't know. The law is meant to protect mages acting in good faith in battle. This is not such a case. The sentence is death. We'll go with the succor. We'll go with the suckers. You have gained favor with the Disfavored, and wrath with the Scarlet Chorus. Surprise. Succor to the enemy? By Tunin's limp gavel, there's no such thing. Kairos be praised. The warrior salutes you with ardor. Permission, good binder, to carry out your execution. Utter crap. The law's on my side. His right hand darts into action, his index finger tracing midair the lines and curves of a spell. Permission granted. You gain favor with the Disfavored. Allow me to show you a warrior's gratitude, binder. Salvaros unsheathes his sword with a single swift jerk of his arm and steps forward between you, a ready shield. The Blood Chanter first attempts to frenzy you into fighting at his side, but when you resist the pathetic pool of his magic, he in a panic turns it mingled in a burst of fire on the Disfavored soldier. The soldier utters a guttural cry that could rival a beastman's and cleaves the Chanter cleanly in two with but one heft of his sword. You watch the halves that were Bitter Quip topple to the ground and give the soldier a cautioning nod of approval. What? He just chopped the dude in half. That's crazy. Oh, I didn't show it. That's okay. I guess we don't need to see it. Still, that's crazy. There is a Gibbs, or Jibs. I'm going to say Gibbs. I like it better. It sounds better. But basically, over-the-top gut and blood and just gore and just grossness. So, I mean, we could turn that on. I don't know if that's going to change, like, stuff like this happening, or if it's just going to make it, like, absurdly over-the-top. I don't know. I'm going to play it like this, guys and gals. I may try it out at some point just to see the differences. But for now, this is what we're playing with. So, maybe this would look different if I had that turned on. It's one of the check boxes, or tick boxes. So, just so you know. Alright, let's get on with our mission. That's crazy. That was good. That felt good. I'm glad Bitter Quip is no longer with us. Guy deserved death. The Binder of Tunin arrives, squealing with a teenager's timbre. The Fifth Eye's voice makes your gums itch and your fingernails feel like are in need of a trim. And we just finished having a bit of sport with some captives, but worry not, we'll have more fun with another batch momentarily. Dressed in the bronze red regalia of the Crimson Spears, which are They are the personal gang of the Voices of Nerat. These top enforcers of the chorus answer only to the Archon of Secrets, and all gang members must follow their orders as if they were the words of the Archon of Secrets himself. In contrast to the poorly equipped mobs they command, the Crimson Spears are armed with the finest bronze and rigorous training, and their skills are regularly tested by rivals for their status. Okay. In the Scarlet Chorus, even the top gang leaders must be ready to prove their strength if they wish to lead. Cool. The Fifth Eye beckons you to stand close, wagging a blood-spattered glove. Now that you have issued this edict and doomed us all to die, have you come to help us climb out of this hole? Chirps of laughter emanate from under his mask. I trust you are getting your warriors ready for battle. We know the Oathbreakers are focused in the citadel beneath the mountain spire, but we have learned this is not their only nest. The Fifth Eye wags a hand in the air with a high-pitched squeal of displeasure. Given their pattern of attacks, they must have a second group maintaining camp here in the Outer Valley. And unless we deal with this second group, they'll attack us from behind the moment we cross the river. Now, we can remain silent. You have how large a force, and for all these weeks you've let the enemy move freely through the valley? The Disfavored think you can't control your horde, and that many are defecting back to the Vendrian Guard. I'm going to remain silent right now. My last group of scouts returned with a new batch of prisoners, and one of these prisoners claims she can lead us to the Vendrian Guard's secondary camp, though there are shreds of deception in her voice. I could use your help questioning this Varia Kell. Perhaps you will get less screams and tears and more useful information out of her. If we knew where to ambush the Oathbreakers, we could try and take their captain, and show him the wisdom of joining the chorus. I will speak to the prisoner. Why not just ask the Archon of Secrets? I thought he could interrogate anything. I don't belong to Archon Nerat. What's my help worth? Are a few more conscripts going to change anything at this point? Seems wiser to just kill them. I've no time for this. I'll speak with the prisoner. I will meet you there. She is waiting by the other prisoner. Or prisoners. Alright, we're here. The Fifth Eye must authorize all prisoner visits. Okay. Hurry up, dude. You're really slow moving, man. Quiet, men. Let the Fatebinder speak with our catch of the day. Alright, well, we can talk to Varia Kell. Please, someone. I wish to bow before the Voices of Nerat. I thought all could find redemption in the chorus. A woman in the makeshift armor of the Vendrian Guard lurches forward in agony. Her soiled, trembling legs suggest that she had been forced to stand for days. This one, he flippantly waves at the prisoner, was hollering earlier that she knows the location of the Vendrian Guard encampment, but she isn't being entirely honest. I told this thing, the prisoner turns pale a moment before a look of determination comes over her face, that I wanted to guarantee I'd live and be welcomed into the chorus as a captain, and then I'll talk. Otherwise, they'll just kill me once I've opened up. I was dumb enough to join with the Vendrian Guard, but I'm not dumb enough to give away my bargaining bronze. Okay, tell me what you know and I can see to your release. You claim you would disavow your people for the Scarlet Chorus. Why the change of heart, and why should I trust the words of an Oathbreaker? Say number 2. It's because I want to live, and you don't need to be the Archon of Premonitions to know that the younger realms are gone for good. She blinks several times, catching her breath. Kairos is the new strength of the Tears, and I would rather stand with his Archons than be crushed by them. Alright, tell me what you know and I'll see to your release. I heard the chorus is looking for Captain Palax Florian and his crew. I can lead you to them, but only if you release me. She turns her head, taking a long look at skewered and smoldering corpses around her. She tugs at her restraints, but to no avail. Oh, so that guy didn't die. Awkward! We can raise our voice and start talking now, or we can use subterfuge. You're lying. Why don't you tell me what you actually know, and I'll see about saving you. Or we could have the Voices of Nerat extract what you know from your mind. I'm going to use my athletics. Yeah. I gained 33 athletics experience. What? Well, You see, shaken by your demand, her lips move wordlessly for several seconds. So I don't know exactly where the rest of my crew is, but I can tell you... She shakes her head, catching her breath. Search that one. She reaches up with her right leg and points with her foot, calling attention to a nearby pile of corpses. The tall, dark one missing most of his face. Check his left boot. He was the literate one in our crew, and he had our orders. With a of his fingers, a pair of choirmen yank the boot off the fallen guardsman, or the fallen godsman. I got nothing. A rolled parchment slides out of the boot and is thrust into the fifth eye's hands. He unfurls a scroll to give it a read. It's nonsense, just a mash of words. Laughter erupts from under his mask. She said she had information. She gives us garbage. Slay this wretch for wasting our time. He snaps his fingers again at a nearby Scarlet Fury, who promptly snatches a long knife from her belt. I heard her say she'd swear fealty to the voices of Nerat. An initiation rite would be in order. You have gained wrath with the Scarlet Chorus. Seeing as you are an expert on the subject of fate, I will entertain your wisdom on the matter. What then would you propose to do, or we do with her? Point to two other prisoners. Let's test her loyalty. Varia, kill these guardsmen with something blunt. Send her back as our agent. When the time comes, she will aid us, or we track down her kin. You're wasting a good slave. Work her until she's broken, and then feed her to the pigs. I'm gonna go with let her be our agent. You have gained wrath with the Vendrian Guard. I will need to think of a good explanation for my escape, but I'm certain I can return and avoid suspicion. Thank you. You will not regret this act of mercy. Oh, I probably will. This will end amusingly, for the Vendrian Guard would be smart to assume she only escaped by our whims. You there! The fifth eye barks at a pair of guardsmen, beckoning them forward. Release our newest recruit. She has orders to infiltrate the Oathbreaker. See that she is escorted to the river's edge. Well, that's something, I guess. Varia inhales deeply, flexing her fingers as she shakes off the stiffness of being tied to the post for days. I will return to the Vendrian Guard, act well my part, and await further instructions from the chorus. With a nod, she follows her escorts out of the camp. Boom! Saving lives despite our disposition that we're kind of evil. It's, we do what we gotta do. We're no closer to finding the Oathbreaker's position, not with this cryptic mess. She promised us answers, and all she gave us was gibberish.
Sorry to interrupt, but I highly doubt it's gibberish. More likely, it's one of the local scripts.
The voice comes from another prisoner tied up next to Varia, an older gentleman with quills, ink vials, and parchment scrolls one finds on the sages of the School of Ink and Quill. Ink smudges cover his cheeks, temples, and ears. His clothes appear charred, and between the ribs of the fabric you spot burn scars along his arms. Despite being emaciated and tied to a post, he offers a beaming smile. And who are you?
I'm Sage Lantry, one of the hired quills that was coordinating missives between the Vendrian Guard captains. They aren't paying me anymore and aren't coming to my rescue. So I'll decipher that parchment for you. That's what smart prisoners do, right? Make themselves useful?
What are hired quills? Running a household or army requires a great deal of logistical know-how, and it helps to be literate and capable of maintaining your own records and ledgers. Most leaders employ assistants known as hired quills to log harvests, schedule payments, balance payrolls, and dictate letters. Dictate letters to friends and rivals. All right, I'm going to show him the parchment.
Let me see. I can't.
It's funny because that actually sounds like Colonel RPG. I'm sorry. You hold the parchment in front of the bound sage, and his eyes dart down the length of the missive. He reads the words a second time, nodding in silence.
I don't know exactly what it says, but I'm half certain that's Sage Selwyn's handwriting. I'm sure I could decipher that in a few hours' time. Don't need my hands free, but I think better when not tied to a post. I know, I'm weird that way.
You are. A few hours? Either you can read it or you cannot. What use is a sage that doesn't know his letters? I've heard all I need to hear. I say we have some fun with this one. Your life depends on you translating the scroll now. Another useless prisoner, dispose of him. I'm going to go with the number 2. Translating it now.
I would love to help. I just need some time. That's written in another sage's shorthand. I'd have to sit down with it, or better yet, compare it to a piece of his writing I have stashed on me somewhere. If I sat down with it while sufficiently sober, it's highly probable I'd figure it out.
Sufficiently sober? What?
Sober? Since when do we share the good stuff with the prisoners?
Oh, nobody shared. Right before I was taken prisoner, I imbibed several vials of reagents. I wanted to be numb and disconnected when my captors used me for carnal catharsis. It's made these last few days tied to a post almost enjoyable.
That's hilarious. I like it. It can't hurt to give him a few hours. You read the edict. I don't need to tell you the sundial is working against us. This addled old bag is just trying to stall us. Untie him and give him the chance to translate. The voices in Rat will be upset to know you squandered a source of enemy intelligence. He's trying to help. Isn't that worth something? Untie him and give him a chance to translate. Are you giving me orders, Binder? Does this look like Tunin's court? Last I checked, only the Archon of Secrets can tell me what to do with a prisoner. The Crimson Spear pounds his staff. The ground? On the ground? Against the ground? Anyway, if this old man wants freedom, we shall give him a fair shot at a trial.
Fatebinder, I beseech you, be my advocate for this trial. I'm no fool. I know the chorus uses blood, not words, to settle these matters. But you are a servant of the Archon of Justice, are you not?
Fine, but I'll be his champion. This one needs to live. Release this prisoner at once. I'm taking him into my custody. We need the prisoner alive. This is a terrible idea. He obviously has useful information, yet you're willing to let him die for sport? As a Fatebinder, it's not my place to tell the chorus how to conduct their trials on their own land. I'm going to go with number 4. He obviously has useful information, you're willing to let him die for sport.
Clearly you need an education in Scarlet Chorus justice. Anything that satisfies their sick amusement is fair play. If the conquest is any judge, there are no limits to their depravity.
Did Graven Ash castrate you during recruitment, or do you just not know the meaning of the word fun? I'm actually curious.
With a shake of his head, the fifth eye gives you a shrug. Is it not obvious? If he is a true enemy of the Overlord, he will perish by our blades. If he can survive, then he is strong, and the strong lead. Thus, his crimes will not be crimes, but simply the actions of the mighty. What's not to understand? This isn't alchemy. Fine, but I'll be his champion. This one needs to live.
Good. I like it when Tunon's puppies get their paws dirty.
Me too.
I wouldn't mind taking a swing at some loudmouth chorus braggarts myself.
Yeah. Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? Raising his arms to the sky, the fifth eye roars for all nearby to hear. Trial by combat is upon us. The sage is unbound from the post, stiff legs nearly buckle as he attempts to walk, and his arms flex and flail in their new freedom. Alright, wiping sweat and grime from his brow, the sage steps close to you with a nervous smile. Rhythmic roaring and the stomping of hundreds of feet in unison flood the camp. Hordsmen begin to circle and swirl about, brandishing weapons and cheering. If they got this worked up to fight the enemy, I venture the war would be over by now. Begin the Chant of Gathering. Let the warriors know that tonight's entertainment will soon commence. Okay, looks like we're going to be doing battle here for the sage's life. It's a little crazy, but I can get behind it. Brothers and sisters, who amongst you sets the standard for strength? Who amongst you will help winnow the weak from the strong? The fifth eye waves his hands in the air, drawing in a gathering of chorus soldiers. Alright, here it is. Little 4-on-4 combat. Our claimants have been assembled now. Let the trial of the Oathbreaker begin.
Look at
me go. Sorry. It had to be done. Alright, we're going to go over there. We're going to probably back up with you.
that!
Oh, good. We're stuck on...
No dice.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's light some... Did we already light somebody on fire? No? Oh, we're doing it now. I want to light that person on fire. What's our sage person doing over here? He's doing stuff. He's doing some work. Alright, what do we have? We've cast Renewal. weapons and armor to pristine condition. Oh, that's interesting. And then we can quicken. Heals the Fatebinder with a surge of restorative energy. The burst of energy is so invigorating the Fatebinder is also hastened for the duration. Restoring touch. The target. And then what else do we have here? The Titan's touch. Okay, well we're gonna Titan's touch ourselves. It's kind of gross, actually, now that I say it out loud. It's fine. All right, we're gonna send your face. And I think we can probably take you out with one more swing. Like, I feel like a lot of people are standing there not doing anything. Anybody else? Like, he's still trying to move, so that's kind of weird. Dude, attack. There we go. Alright, let's turn and attack you. We'll actually be able to use cleave here. Use cleave. There we go. Now take him out, and you're kind of getting wrecked. Can we use that spell? I thought our combo was interrupted. Yeah, I hate when there's like a small area and you can't get your guys to go where they're supposed to go. That's really what causes the biggest issues here. Well, he's dead, but he's not dead. He's just down, but so frustrating, so frustrating. We're gonna win the fight like easily. Oh, is she down too? I didn't realize that she went down too. I guess she was pretty hurt. Well, I did this fight pretty poorly, and most of it came down to the fact that he stood there almost the entire time. That was really kind of a big problem, so...
Will do.
And good day, madam. Whatever, we won the fight. He didn't level up, but still. By the righteous shedding of blood, we have found our answer. Regrettably, it appears the sage is worthy of leaving our camp alive. The Fifth Eye offers a short, mocking bow to Lantry. By the custom set forth by the voices of Narat, you are free to go, old man. Brag to your grandkids that you fell afoul of the chorus yet lived to tell the story. The chorus has a rather bloody definition of the word trial. That was fun. Your warriors almost put up a good fight. That one. You have gained favor with the Scarlet Chorus. It really is bloodletting weather, is it not? My conscripts need to see more warriors of your skill in action. I thank you for the lesson you have given the camp. I thought I'd die to that post. The sage looks down at his rope-worn wrist in disbelief. Now hand me that parchment. I'm certain I can decipher it. Get back up! Well, much of the parchment was weathered, but I could make out the important parts of the text. The note makes mention of a meeting spot west of Tripnettle. So the old sage knows his words after all. Sweet. I'd ask that you travel ahead and see if you can't get this Captain Florian to yield to the chorus. They will strike at the first sight of a chorus gang, but perhaps they will parley if yours is the first face they see. Well, I know the area, and I suggest we go at once. I'll show you the way. I'm eager to be far from the stench of this camp. You're offering to come with me. Why? Something's amiss. There's a lot of fight in you for an old scholar. Now you're offering to join this expedition? Let's go with that one. Well, I've met sages every bit as cutthroat as hardened gang bosses. They act the part of doddering scribes, but don't let that fool you, says Verse. Smart for someone your age to be so mistrusting. But I'm not with the Oathbreakers, if that's what you're fishing at. I worked for them under duress, but I've no love of them. I'm not about to pledge to the chorus, and the Disfavored wouldn't have me. Still, I consider myself a Kairos-fearing vassal of the Overlord's empire all the same. For as long as I've been a sage, I've been trained to defend myself. We don't spend all of our time binding books and sketching wildlife, just most of it. For centuries, we've been in a quiet war with the School of Tides and the School of Wild Wrath. You can't travel alone as much as I do and not know the bronze dance. And your little quill dagger, just for decoration? Well, I mean, sages always need to have a quill handy, so it just sort of blends into the ensemble of on a casual glance. And the customary term is a bladed remix, but who's keeping track? Fine, if you're so eager, come with me. Swear fealty to me and I will let you leave this place. How about you just tell me where it is? You're offering to come with me. Why? Because the alternative is, what? Living here with these illiterate brutes? My old study is under a river of fire, and there's no family missing me. Besides, I'd much rather chronicle the binder that twice proclaimed an edict of Kairos. I'd be a fool to let someone else write your story. You want to chronicle me? Well, of course, even if the burning library is never rebuilt, our work to chronicle the days and events needn't cease. And you're a noteworthy player in this whole war. I can't think of another living Fatebinder that has twice been given the honor of proclamation. Alright. What about swearing fealty to me? Now, fine, if you're so eager, then come with me. Splendid, you won't be disappointed. I know I may seem old and frail, but I know how to step lightly, and I know how not to get killed. Really, I won't slow you down. Lead the way and let me know if I can be of service. How we done here? Let's hightail it to Trip Nettle. If our new pet doesn't behave himself along the way, I'm not above clipping his ears. Alright, so beeth it, I guess. Well, we got through all of that, ladies and gentlemen, and we are, I guess, sort of ready to leave the camp. Maybe we can do some talking. Maybe, like, around camp before we leave. Maybe we just leave, go do the mission, do some talking on the way back. There was a lot of story and stuff in this particular episode, but... How many wounds do we have? Ooh. What do you mean right-click to lock? What does that mean? Oh, you can keep the... Oh, that's interesting. Alright. So you can actually keep that there if you wanted. Like, instead of, like, when you hover over something, it pops up with something new, right? I can actually right-click, and then it will stay there when I'm not on him, and then when I hover over stuff, it'll come up briefly. That's kind of cool. It's an interesting feature. Anyway, I just want to take a peek at what he has to offer as far as his skills and stats and whatnot, and then we're going to probably end up breaking off the episode. I'm not going to go in just yet. It looks like he has a lot of resolve, and he's got quite a bit of wits. And not too bad on finesse, either. Alright, so we'll probably go with wits. We'll do the level up. I know we're a little bit over where I'd like to be for time, so we'll do that. Does he have any more attributes? Oh, he's got another attribute point. We'll go 2 in on wits. I'm totally okay with that. Then we'll come over here, and he's got Quill, Sage, and Preservation. That's kind of neat. 3 different talents. And we also have 2 that we can use. The Sage. Watcher's Judgment. Lantry strikes his target, interrupting them and lowering their non-physical armor. If used from stealth, this attack will also paralyze the target. That sounds crazy. But I think we're going to keep him as a healer. I think that's going to be his best bet. Looks like he's already got some cool abilities to actually do some damage. What do we have over here? Gifted Healer requires 1 talent point spent in the Preservation tree. Alright, we'll do that. Greater Renewal requires 1 point. Empowers Lantry's Renewal ability, granting an even greater increase to weapon damage and armor. Okay, so we can do 2 points there. Grants a bonus to arcane armor and magic defense. I like it. We're going to do that. So there it is. He has been leveled up, and we are out of time for this episode. I hope you guys had fun, and I will see you next time with more Tyranny. Until then, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you for stopping by the Phreak Show, and I will see you later.